안녕하세요, Cloud입니다. Hey guys, Cloud here. Today's lesson is awesome. Nothing more to be said. Alright, let's get into it. This lesson is divided into 5 parts, but the parts are pretty short. So let's start with part 1. 으려고, with the intention of doing. 으려고 indicates your intention. It's a bit hard to explain honestly, but the meaning should be clear with some examples. So first you take a verb stem, then you add either 으려고 if there's a 받침 or just 려고 if there isn't a 받침. So for example, 하다 would become 하려고. So now let's look at this example. Daylight saving just happened, which means it gets dark really early nowadays. There's not much time for students to play outside. So if they wanted to get a chance to play outside before the sun sets, they need to finish their homework quickly. One such student could say, 밖에 일찍 나가려고 숙제를 빨리 했어요. I did my homework fast in order to go out early. So here the intention was to go out early. So that's why he says 밖에 일찍 나가려고. So with the intention of going out early, I did my homework quickly. So the intention part you can see is attached, or 려고 gives you the intent that that's what he was trying to do. Here's another sentence to make it a little bit more clear. 아까 무례하게 하려고 했던 건 아닌데, or 아니에요. I don't think we covered 대 yet, but the meaning of the sentence is, I didn't mean to be rude earlier. So the intention wasn't to be rude. I know some of these words you haven't learned yet, but I thought this was a really good sentence to include. So 요거 shows, basically, it shows the intent for doing something. We can also end sentences with 으려고 when the rest of the sentence can be assumed. So for example, you have this conversation. 마트에 갔어요? Have you gone to the store? 아니요. 지금 가려고요. No, but I'm about to. Or I'm about to go. So it shows I have the intention of going, i.e. I'm about to go. So that's it for this part. Part 2. To try to. 려고 노력하다. This part is fairly simple. All you do is you add 노력하다 to what we just talked about after 려고. And that says, I try to something, something, something. So, for example, 웃기게 하려고 노력했어요. I tried to make him laugh. Another sentence, 한국어를 배우려고 노력하고 있어요. I'm trying to learn Korean. So it's fairly straightforward. Now, part 3, to come or to go, or go to. So, 우러, basically. Or 우러. When I first learned about 려고, it was through a language exchange partner that used it all the time, hence why I tend to use it a lot. But I did not learn about 로, though. So one day, I was watching a show about some high schoolers, and one girl says, 밥 먹으러 가자. And I just didn't know what she was saying. I thought she was trying to say 먹으러, as in like through food, like 차로 갔어요, that kind of thing. But then what exactly was she trying to say? I was so confused. I couldn't wrap my head around it. But I just said, hey, it must make sense because, she's a native and she said it. Later on, I learned that it's a different 로, and it instantly clicked. I instantly remembered that scene and I knew exactly what was going on. So what does this 로 do? It's used when you're going or coming to do something. So in this example, the one we just mentioned, you're going to eat. So 밥 먹으러 가자. You're going to eat. You're going to do something. It's similar to 려고 in a sense that the intention here is that you're going to eat, but 로 is almost exclusively used when you're going or coming. So it has a directional word. So you'll see 가다 or 오다 used very often. So let's look at a couple of examples. 친구를 만나러 왔어. I came to meet my friend. Here, 로 is the intention to meet my friend, and then 오다, I came. So I came to meet my friend. Here's another example. 축구하러 갔어. I went to play soccer. I usually have 축구 in a lot of my examples because I like playing soccer. All right, part 4. 아오 보다. So 아오 보다 is a conjugation that means to attempt or to try. It's not the I tried to make him laugh meaning that we visited before, but more of the have you tried this before? Meaning? So when I was in Korea, my friend would constantly ask me, oh, have you been here before? Have you tried this? Have you seen this? Etc., etc. To figure out like what they should recommend me to do or to go or things like that. So for example, 라면 먹어봤어요? Have you had ramen before? Or 라면? Another example, 비상출구를 찾아볼 거예요. I will look for the emergency exit. Although there is no try here in the translation, you can think of it as I'll attempt to look for the exit. 보다 is also a common way to ask someone to do something. So it's like telling, hey, could you try doing this? So for example, oh wait, I have the same sentence twice. Whoops. 이것을 먹어봐. Eat this. Or like try eating this. That kind of thing. Finally, we have part 5. The noun of experience. 촉. What does that mean? 촉 is just a word that relates to experience. So in the sentence, it'll have the meaning of experience. So we'll be using it to say if we've ever had the experience of something. Looking at this example, 김치를 먹은 적이 없어요. I don't have the experience of eating kimchi, which more naturally would be I've never had kimchi before. I've never eaten kimchi before. You can learn about the conjugation in the lesson, but it's fairly simple. The present, past, and future tense. It's nothing you haven't seen before. Also, since 촉 relates to experiencing something, and we just learned how to say I tried something, which are two very similar things, it's often used with 보다 that we just learned. So you can say, have you ever tried? Things like that. So 저 본 적이 있어요? Have you ever seen me before? Or like, have you seen me before? 이력서를 만들어 본 적이 없어요. I've never tried making a resume before. So that's it for this lesson. We'll continue with some very common and useful grammar patterns in the next lesson, so look forward to that.